Okay, multi-step. I didn't want to make the videos too long, so multi-step. So we have 6a plus 5a equals negative 11. I'm going to split it just like you did in my intro video. So this step, the first step to multi-step, is actually, the first step to multi-step is actually checking to see if there's distributive property. In this example, there's not distributive property, so we move on. The second step in a multi-step is combining like terms either on the left side or on the right side. So it's kind of like two problems in one. You check on the left side to see if you can combine anything. You check on the right side to see if you can combine anything separately, you know? Pretend like they're two separate problems where you're just combining like terms. So let's check here on the left side. So like terms means that they have the same variable. I'll try to make a video of that too, but it means that they have the same variable, and then if that variable has an exponent, it actually has to have the same exponent too. In this case, there's no exponents, but they both have an a. So that means I can combine these just like normal, like if I was just adding 6 plus 5. So if I was just adding 6 plus 5, that would be 11, but I have to bring that variable back with me because it's 6a and 5a, okay? So 6 plus 5 is 11, and then 11a. Then I check the right side. There's nothing to combine, so I just bring it down. Now I'm back to my two-step or one-step, depending on how much, two-step or one-step, and you can do it. No addition or subtraction, so we know we're going to use multiplication and division. So we're isolating this a, try and get rid of that 11. That's multiplication there, so the opposite of multiplication is division. So we're going to divide both sides by 11. Negative 11 divided by 11 is negative 1. Okay, cool. Let's do another one. Okay, so remember the first step is distributive property. There's not distributive property on the left side or the right side. The second step is to combine like terms on the left side and then combine like terms on the right side. So let's see on the left side, is there anything that has the same variable? No. Is there anything that doesn't have a variable? Well, 6 doesn't have a variable, neither does 3, so that's like terms. They both don't have a variable. So 6 plus 3 is 9. So we have 4x plus 9, and then we look on the right side. Is there anything to simplify here? There's not, so we just bring the 17 down. And now we have our two-step equation, and we follow those steps. There's addition and subtraction, so we know we're going to add or subtract. We're trying to isolate this, get rid of that 9 first, the number farthest away. Look at what's in front of it, that's addition. So we're going to subtract 9 because we do the opposite, inverse operation. 9 minus 9 is 0, so just leaving you with 4x. And then 17 minus 9 is 8. Now we have a one-step equation. There's no more addition or subtraction, so we know we're going to multiply or divide. It's multiplication in between the variable and the number, so we're going to divide both sides by 4 because that's the number we need to get rid of to isolate the variable. So 4 divided by 4 is just 1x. And then 8 divided by 4 is just 2. So x equals 2. Okay? Let's do another problem. Okay, remember the first step is distributive property. So we check the left side, there's no distributive property. We check the right side, there is distributive property. Distributive property is when a number is on the outside of the parentheses. And that means we can't combine what's in the parentheses because one has an x, one doesn't. So that's unlike terms, so we can't combine them. So we have to distribute this 3 out. You have to multiply the 3 by the 3x, you have to multiply the 3 by the 6. And you keep the operation, okay? So 18 equals 3 times 3x, so 3 times 3 is 9, and then you just bring the x. And then you have the subtraction symbol, because there's subtraction. And then 3 times 6 is 18. And then we just have a two-step equation again. Want to get rid of that 18, look at what's in front of it, subtraction. So we're going to add 18 to both sides. You're going to get 36 equals 9x, because these cancel each other out, because negative 18 plus 18 is 0. Bring down the 9x. 18 plus 18 is 36. Now we know we're going to use either multiplication or division. Well, it's multiplication in between, so the opposite of multiplication is division. So x is going to equal 4, because 9 divided by 9 is 1x, and then 36 divided by 9 is 4. Let's do another one. Okay, first step is distributive property. So no distributive property? Yes, distributive property, the 5. The 5 goes to the 1, the 5 goes to the 4. So we just bring the negative 13 down there. 5 times 1 is 5, plus we keep the same operation. 5 times 4 is 20, and the m. And then we can just bring down the minus 2m as well, because there's no distributive property. We just bring it down. Second step is simplify on the left side, combine like terms. Nothing to do, so I just rewrite the negative 13 once again. Over here, combine like terms. We have a 20m and we have a 2m. And the operation in between is 20 minus 2m. So that's 18m, because 20 minus 2 is 18. And now, once again, we're back to our two-step equations. So get rid of this 5. We want to look at what's in front of it. Remember, if there's not an operation, we know it's a positive because it's a positive 5. So the opposite of plus is subtraction. And then you get 18m is equal to negative 18, because 5 minus 5 is 0. You bring down the 18m. Remember, we can drop that. If it was a negative, or subtraction sign, then we would bring it down. And then negative 13 minus 5 is negative 18. Multiplication in between, so we're going to divide it. M equals negative 1. Okay, M equals negative 1. Cool. Cool. Okay, now we're going to get a little harder, where we have variables on both sides. So 6x plus 7 equals 8x minus 13. Okay, first step, check for distributive property. No, so we can move on. Second step, check to see if you can simplify. No, we can't simplify anything anymore. No like terms. Can't simplify anything here, no like terms. So we check that step, we can move on. The third step now that we have to add is to get the variables on one side of the equation. One side of the equation. I usually move the smallest number. So in this case, regardless of the sign, I just look at the number, 6 and 8. So I'm going to move 6. So it's addition or subtraction. So when you're moving variables to different sides, you're always going to use addition or subtraction. Okay? So when you're moving variables to different sides. So with this one, we look at what's in front of it. And remember, it's a positive 6x, so the opposite of addition is subtraction. So I'm going to subtract 6x from both sides. 6x minus 6x is 0. 8 minus 6x is 2x. On this side, I have a 7, positive 7, but I don't have to bring down that plus sign. And then on this side, I need to bring down the minus 13. Now I have a two-step equation. I'm going to isolate the variable, and I'm going to get rid of that 13 by adding 13, because the opposite operation of subtraction is adding. You look at what's in front of it. And then you get 2x equals 20. Those cancel each other out. Negative 13 plus 13 is 0. Now multiplication, so I know I'm going to divide by 2, because I'm still trying to isolate that variable. And 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 20 divided by 2 is 10. Cool. Let's try a hard one. This is my last one. We'll try a hard one. not hard, but long, as I might say. Okay, so in this case, we check for distributive property first. We have it here and here, nothing here. So I can just go ahead and rewrite that one because there's nothing there, there's no distributive property. So I can just go ahead and bring everything down. Over here, we have negative 3 times x, which is a negative 3x, because negative 3 times x is just negative 3x. We have our subtraction sign. Then we have a negative 3 times 1, which is a negative 3. I'm going to rewrite that negative in parentheses to distinguish between the subtraction sign and the negative sign. Okay? And then I'm going to distribute the 8. So 8 times x is 8x, and it's going to be a positive 8x, so you can just write plus 8x. Then take that subtraction sign down, and 8 times 3 is 24. Okay, there is one thing I want to talk about here. In this case, when you see right here where you have a subtraction sign and a negative sign, we talked about this in my integer video. When you have a subtraction sign and a negative sign, you think you have those two hash mark things, and you can make a plus sign with them. So anytime you see a subtraction sign and a negative sign, just think, oh, I can take those two little hash mark shapes and make a plus sign. So instead of writing minus negative, I'm going to take those two hash marks and make a plus sign. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite this and write plus 3 instead of minus a negative 3. Because I took those two hash marks and made the plus sign. So now my step is to combine like terms on the left side and combine like terms on the right side. So on the left side, I have a negative 3x and I have a positive 8x. So that'd be negative 3 plus 8, which is a positive 5x. And then on that same side, I can combine positive 3 minus 24. Well, 3 minus 24 is negative 21. So all I need to do is write minus 21 because that represents negative 21. Then on this side, I can combine 6x minus 5x. Well, 6x minus 5x is just 1x. So 6 minus 5 is 1. And then there's nothing to combine the 7 with, so I would just bring it down, x plus 7. Now my next step is to move the variables to one side. Again, I move the one that is the least number, so x for me. I look at what's in front of x, and really it's a positive x, so plus sign. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides. 5x minus x, remember that's understood as 1, so it's really just 5 minus 1, which is 4x. Minus 21 equals x minus x is 0, and then you have the 7. We don't have to bring down that plus sign. If it was a subtraction sign, yes, but not the plus. Now we have a two-step. Want to get rid of this 21 first, so I'll do the opposite operation that's in front of it. So that's plus 21, plus 21. Those cancel each other out. Negative 21 plus 21 is just 0. We just have a 4x. And then 7 plus 21 is 28. And now we can solve this by, this is multiplication, so we're going to do division. So divide 4x by both sides, divide 4x by both sides. I mean, not divide 4x, what am I doing? Not 4x, divide by 4 on both sides. We don't want to move the x, so we're trying to isolate the x. So now we just have x equals 28 divided by 4. Is 7. Okay, let me show you two situations that might occur. If you have this, 2x plus 5 equals 2x minus 8, you're solving, you're trying to get the variables on one side. That means you're going to subtract 2x because the operation in front of it is plus. So subtract 2x from both sides. And when you do that, when you subtract 2x from both sides, you actually get 5 is equal to negative 8. Because 2x minus 2x gives you 0, and 2x minus 2x over here gives you 0. So you get this statement that does not make a true statement. So in this situation, when you are solving and you get a statement that's not true, means no solution. Means that anything that we plug into this x will not give me, will not work out, will not make these two expressions equal. Another special situation is when you have something like this. So in this case, we follow our steps. We see distributive property, so we do that. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 2 is 6. So we have 3x plus 6 equals 3x plus 6. You can stop right there because once you see the left side matches the right side, this is a problem that has infinite solutions. So you can write infinite solutions, or you can write all real numbers. So any real number that you put into there, is going to make that statement true. Okay, awesome. Thank you for watching.